This daily habit will help you achieve anything you want. Some people believe that success is all about luck, fate, or being born with a silver spoon in their mouth. But let me let you in on a secret. That's just an excuse dressed up as wisdom. What truly separates those who live an average life from those who get what they want, whether it's money, love, health, or peace, is one simple, powerful habit. And guess what? It's available to anyone. No magic formulas, no grinding yourself into the ground. It's something legends like Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, and even Olympic athletes swear by. And the best part? You can start using it today. Ever notice how some people seem to attract opportunities like magic? They close big deals, find true love, live amazing experiences, while others stay stuck in the same loop year after year. The difference lies in this habit. A habit that brings together spirituality, neuroscience, visualization, and focus, unlocking an inner power that transforms everything around you. Yes, we're talking about a level of awareness where your thoughts and emotions quite literally shape your reality. What you're about to learn isn't theory from a book. It's practical. It's real. It's a method. And if you apply it with intention, the results will blow your mind. Get ready to reprogram your mind, align your heart, and completely shift your days with a new morning ritual that will have you looking in the mirror and saying, "Now I'm truly creating my life." You know that moment when everything feels foggy but something deep inside still shouts, "Go"? That's exactly when the magic begins. Bob Proctor always said that decision is the starting point of every manifestation. He reminded us that waiting for the how is the fatal mistake of those who keep postponing their dreams. When you decide with certainty, your frequency shifts, and that shift ripples through the vibrational field around you. Spirituality isn't just contemplation, it's faith in motion. And no, you don't need to see the whole path before taking the first step. You need to trust, feel, and decide. Picture someone who wants to start a YouTube channel but gets stuck because they don't know how to edit videos. Or someone with a brilliant business idea but frozen because they don't have the capital yet. Bob's lesson is simple and powerful. Decide first. Action brings clarity. Want proof? Write down right now a decision you've been putting off. Don't worry about the how, just focus on the yes. Then over the next week, notice how ideas, people, and paths begin to appear around you. Coincidence? Not at all. It's your vibration responding to your new intention. Wernher von Braun, a key figure at NASA, once said that to accomplish the impossible, all a person needs is a decision based on faith. It's the same faith that drives someone into deep meditation or fuels a heartfelt prayer. When the universe senses a clear intention, it starts rearranging the pieces. It's like changing the radio station. Your new frequency starts picking up opportunities that were always there, just out of range. It's not magic. It's focus, vision, and the courage to move. Of course, it's not about deciding just for the sake of it. It's about deciding with your body, mind, and emotions in alignment. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, "I choose this for me and I know I'm capable." That's where affirmations come in. Repeating them daily trains your brain to accept this new reality as not just possible, but inevitable. Make it a ritual. Wake up, take a deep breath, say your affirmations while looking into your own eyes, and feel the energy of what you desire. It might feel awkward at first, but remember, most major transformations begin in the invisible. And once you decide with clarity, even if the path seems crazy, it starts to reveal itself. Bob was just following the flow of life when a series of improbable coincidences landed him in the Secret documentary. Synchronicity doesn't show up for those who wait, it shows up for those who move. And that brings us to the next insight, because sometimes, the most life-changing opportunities are quietly waiting behind the scenes, for your emotional inbox to finally be open. Very few people know this, but Bob Proctor almost missed being part of The Secret. The documentary that revolutionized how the world understands manifestation, spirituality, and the law of attraction. Yes, seriously. And all because of an overflowing mailbox. The invitation was there, waiting to be read. But due to a twist of fate, or what we might call a perfectly orchestrated coincidence, Bob happened to be in Aspen, the exact place where the film crew was shooting. Coincidence? Maybe. But for those who understand visualization and vibration, nothing is truly random. The universe is always responding to the energy we emit, even if our logical mind can't immediately make sense of it. This story shows us that spirituality isn't disconnected from the small decisions we make every day. Bob's mind was already so aligned with his purpose that he attracted this opportunity without even knowing it. And that's the key. When you intentionally align your vibration, when you meditate to connect with your higher self and repeat affirmations with emotion, doors begin to open in ways that feel almost magical. Sometimes, The difference between missing or catching a life-changing opportunity lies in something as simple as checking an inbox or answering a phone call. But deep down, it's really about how well you've prepared your energy field to receive what you say you want. How many times have you missed out on something big because you were stuck on autopilot? Sometimes, life is trying to hand you exactly what you've been asking for, but your energy is so out of sync you don't even notice. Bob nearly missed his chance because he wasn't paying attention, and yet, somehow he was exactly where he needed to be. That's the lesson. No matter how chaotic life seems, when you cultivate presence and awareness, through practices like mindfulness, it becomes easier to recognize the signs and respond to life's synchronicities. As the saying goes, luck favors the prepared mind. There's nothing more powerful than watching someone who's committed to their spiritual growth begin to attract opportunities that once seemed impossible. It happens when a person internalizes the daily habit of visualization, mentally and emotionally placing themselves in the reality they want to live. It's like the universe responds saying, "Oh, you're really ready now." The vibration shifts, the frequency rises, and everything starts working in your favor. Bob went to Aspen not knowing that his life was about to change once again. But he had been living what he taught for years, and the universe simply answered that vibration. So here's something to reflect on. Are you preparing yourself internally to receive what you're asking for externally? Are you clearing emotional blocks and creating space for something new? Because sometimes before the miracle arrives you have to make room, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. And who knows, maybe a single shift in your decision or frequency could rewrite your entire story, just like it did for Bob. And that brings us to the story you're about to hear next. Bob Proctor wasn't born with a silver spoon, far from it. He got kicked out of school, lived aimlessly, drowning in debt, with zero direction or vision for the future. But you know that one moment when everything changes? For Bob, it happened when Ray Stanford handed him a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That seemingly simple gesture sparked an inner revolution. And what makes this story so powerful isn't just the financial turnaround, it's the spiritual journey that began right there. Because at its core, true manifestation begins when the mind opens to something new, and the heart finally believes it deserves more. Most people wait for their outer world to change before they take action. But Bob did the opposite. He started studying, practicing affirmations, visualizing, and, most importantly, he shifted his vibration. And when your vibration changes, everything changes. He didn't have a detailed plan. He didn't know how he'd turn things around. But he made the decision that he would. And as we've already seen, a decision like that, it changes everything. He committed to a new mental standard. He meditated, expressed gratitude even before seeing results. That energy shaped a new version of himself. The money came as a consequence. What most people don't understand is that escaping scarcity isn't just about money, it's spiritual. It's about breaking the inner dialogue that says, "This life isn't for me, I'm unlucky, I was born this way." Bob faced those mental patterns head-on, every single day. And through discipline and repetition he weakened each one of them. He built new beliefs using powerful affirmations he repeated to himself like mantras. I am prosperous. I am worthy of wealth. I am the creator of my reality. And no, it's not magic. It's neuroscience fueled by faith, alignment, and action. Maybe you're in a similar place right now, feeling stuck, unsure, convinced you weren't meant to win. But the truth is, all you need is a spark, a single flicker that reignites the fire of your decision. It might be a book, a video, a conversation, something that wakes your soul up and reminds you, there is more. And once that more becomes a certainty within, transformation begins. Bob used vision boards and would visualize a life of abundance, long before he could even pay his bills. And guess what? That energy opened the way. So, what if a whole new life could start with a simple shift in your inner narrative? What if you began seeing yourself as prosperous, worthy, capable, even if your current reality says otherwise? Because that's exactly what Bob did. And when you change the story you tell yourself, the universe listens. But here's the twist. What role did generosity play in taking his transformation even further? You'll want to stick around for that part of the journey, because what comes next might just surprise you. Generosity is a quiet force, but it's absolutely transformative. And Bob Proctor knew that better than most. Inspired by his mother, who, even with very little, always found a way to help someone, he understood early on that giving has nothing to do with how much you have, and everything to do with your willingness to share. When it comes to spirituality and manifestation, giving is like pressing the accelerator on abundance. Gratitude expands, scarcity weakens, and the universe gets the message, this person is ready for more. Bob often said, When you give, you're showing that you trust there's more coming. And trust? That's pure vibration. Giving isn't just about money. It's your time, your attention, your presence, your knowledge. One powerful example, Bob helped build schools in Africa, not just with financial resources but with his presence and intention. That raised his frequency and, not so coincidentally, his businesses began to flourish even more. That's the law of circulation in action. What you send out comes back multiplied. Want to increase your income? Start being generous with what you already have. Try writing daily affirmations like, I am a source of abundance and generosity. I give and receive with joy. This tunes your mind to the frequency of prosperity. Most people hold on tightly to what they have out of fear there won't be enough, and paradoxically they stay stuck in lack. The energy of withholding is rooted in fear, and fear blocks flow. Bob taught that giving, especially when it feels uncomfortable, is a powerful way to break that cycle. It's like saying to the universe, I'm bigger than scarcity. And no, it's not about self-sacrifice, it's about giving with intention. Small acts, like buying someone a coffee or offering a sincere compliment, shift energy. Manifestation loves when your heart and your actions are in harmony. And the best part? This ripple of generosity creates real impact in the world. Bob also explained that generosity is a direct reflection of your self-image. People who feel emotionally poor tend to hold back. But those who feel rich within, even if they don't have much materially, naturally share value wherever they go. It's a matter of vibrational identity. That's why daily gratitude is so important. Heart-focused meditation, for instance, activates the magnetic field of love and generosity. Visualize yourself giving and receiving abundantly. The more you feel it, the more you become it. And now here's the real question. If giving is this powerful, why do so many people hesitate? Maybe it's because they've never been taught that the key to creating a new reality is hidden within the subtle faculties of the mind. Bob discovered this as he explored a part of human potential most schools completely ignore, the untapped power of our higher mental faculties. And this is where things get truly fascinating. Because when you unlock your perception, intuition, and imagination, you gain the tools to reshape your entire life. So many people spend their entire lives trying to fix what's outside, the job, the money, the relationship, while completely ignoring the true source of power, the mental faculties. Those higher tools of the mind no one ever taught us to use properly in school. Bob Proctor hammered this point for decades. Perception, will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. These are the real instruments of manifestation. He used to say the mind isn't just a storage unit for random thoughts, it's a creative workshop. And once you learn how to operate that machine, you realize you can shape your reality with near magical precision. But of course, that requires awareness, practice, and direction. Let's start with perception. Two people can go through the exact same situation. One sees a problem, the other sees an opportunity. The only difference is the lens they're using. Change your perception and you literally change your world. For example, when facing debt, you can either see yourself as a victim, or as someone standing on the edge of a breakthrough. Bob recommended a simple exercise. Take a challenge and write down 5 positive perspectives about it. This rewires your mind and strengthens your spiritual awareness and mindfulness. It grounds you in the now, fully aware of your thoughts and emotions. Will is the invisible muscle of the mind. It's what keeps you locked in on your goal when the world around you is screaming for your attention. According to Bob, you train willpower through small, intentional practices, like staring at a candle flame for 5 uninterrupted minutes. Sounds silly? Maybe. But it sharpens your ability to hold your focus, a vital skill when it comes to maintaining clear visualizations and affirmations. Without will, you wish. With will, you create. That's where manifestation starts. When desire is paired with sustained action, and the mind is steady like a mountain. Imagination is the factory where your future is built. Everything that exists, bridges, planes, businesses, started as a mental image. Bob encouraged his students to spend time every day visualizing their ideal self in vivid detail. How do you walk, dress, speak? Who's around you? This isn't daydreaming, it's intentional identity construction. Your mind begins to design paths to make it real. Combine that with advanced gratitude like, thank you for the success that's already flowing to me, and your vibration skyrockets. You start broadcasting a signal that matches abundance itself. Then we have memory and intuition, the final keys in this extraordinary toolkit. Memory isn't just about recalling the past, it's about remembering who you're becoming. And intuition? That's your direct line to universal wisdom. The more you meditate and quiet the mental noise, the louder your intuition speaks. Bob said great ideas aren't thought, they're received. And once you learn to listen, everything shifts. Life begins to flow with more ease, more alignment, more synchronicity. But if these faculties are this powerful, why aren't more people using them to create the life they want? The answer might lie in something even deeper, hidden in the unseen roots of our identity. Because before we can unlock our potential, we have to face the subconscious beliefs that keep it buried. And that is the next level of this journey. Changing your life doesn't start with a fat bank account or landing your dream job. It starts with self-image. Bob Proctor was relentless about this. A paradigm is a set of mental habits running on autopilot. They're like invisible software operating in the background of your mind. And the truth is, until you change that internal program, you'll keep repeating the same external results. That's why so many people find themselves back at square one, even after taking courses, setting big goals, or making surface-level changes. The root issue is what you believe about yourself. So how do you actually shift a paradigm? According to Bob, it's not just about willpower, it's about conscious repetition and emotional impact. That's where affirmations and visualization come in. Repeating phrases like, "I am prosperous, capable, and worthy," every day isn't some mystical talk, it's neuroscience. The brain rewires through repetition. And the more emotion you attach to those words, the deeper the imprint. A simple yet powerful exercise? Record your own affirmations in your voice and listen to them every night before bed. It may sound basic, but it's transformative. You're literally reprogramming your self-image on a subconscious level. Bob also swore by mental rehearsal, and even creating alter egos. Before big presentations or negotiations, he would visualize his ideal self, walking in with confidence and clarity. This isn't just imagination, it's vibrational training. Want to try it? Create a version of yourself who already has the life you desire. Give that version a name. Feel how they walk, speak, think, and act. Then step into that role daily. This bridges the gap between your spiritual alignment and your physical action. It creates inner coherence, and that's exactly what attracts results. Another key? Watch your automatic thoughts when trying something new. Do you hear yourself thinking, "I'm not good at this," or "this isn't for me"? Those are your current paradigms trying to keep you safe in your comfort zone. The way out? Challenge them. Write them down. Then rewrite a new version. For example, "This is hard" becomes, "I'm learning to master this." Bring in some mindfulness here. Observe your thoughts without judgment. That's real freedom and real choice. And when you choose a new internal narrative, you align with the version of yourself that's ready to manifest your full potential. And here's what makes this entire process even more powerful: mentorship. Bob used to say the biggest leaps in awareness come when you're guided by someone who's already walked the path. A mentor helps you see what you can't see about yourself yet. They challenge your self-image, break your patterns, and pull you forward into your best version. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about changing habits. It's about becoming someone new. And if you already know who that person is, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what's still keeping you from showing up as that version of you in the way you speak, create, and connect with the world? Few things hold people back more than the fear of public speaking. And here's the curious part: it's rarely about a lack of ability. It's about the inner image a person holds of themselves. Bob Proctor used to say, "You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be real." Confidence doesn't come from ego, it comes from purpose. When you shift the focus from "how do I look" to "who can I help with this message," fear loses its grip. Speaking becomes less of a performance and more of a mission, a way to serve, inspire, and unlock transformation. Just thinking about speaking makes you freeze up. Start small. Sharing a lesson with a group of friends is practice. Recording short, honest videos is practice. Want something that really helps? Meditation before you speak. Take deep breaths, quiet the mental noise, center yourself in the now. Spirituality in this context isn't about rituals, it's about presence. A speaker who is grounded and grateful for the moment transmits a frequency that words alone can't carry. And trust this, your audience feels it. Because communication isn't about what you say, it's about what you transmit. Bob also believed in modeling excellence. And that's not inauthentic, it's wisdom. He used to study great speakers, write down impactful lines, and rehearse in the mirror. Over time, those external references blend into your own essence, and your unique voice emerges. This is where visualization becomes a powerful tool. Before a talk, close your eyes, see yourself on stage, hear the applause, feel the calm confidence in your body. When you visualize with emotion, your brain begins to respond as if it's already happening. That's manifestation in action. Here's another gold nugget: ditch perfection, choose intention. People don't want a robot on stage. They connect with your humanness, Your real stories, your real emotions. So don't try to impress, aim to impact. Great communication comes from well-placed vulnerability. Talk about your fears, your journey, what moved you, what changed you. Use affirmations like, "My voice matters. I express myself with clarity. My message transforms lives." Repeating these daily rewires your confidence from the inside out. And when you speak with authenticity, something powerful happens. Real connection. The audience doesn't just hear you, they feel you. And feeling is what moves the world. When you become a bridge between knowledge and emotion, you begin attracting bigger opportunities, better people, and higher environments. And guess what? Your imagination can take this even further. Because mastering communication is just the beginning. There's another level. One where you don't just inspire with words but create a vision so clear, others want to walk alongside you. The mind is like a garden. If you don't plant anything, weeds will grow on their own. And you know what those weeds are? Repetitive thoughts of doubt, limitation, and fear. Bob Proctor taught that if you want to manifest something extraordinary, you must first imagine it clearly, not as a question of if, but a matter of when. That takes a kind of training most people never commit to, visualizing the result in rich detail, as if it were already happening. That's where spirituality comes in. It's the fertile soil where manifestation takes root. And it all starts with a decision. I deserve more. Now, some people dream big, but freeze when it's time to set actual goals. The bigger the desire, the greater the fear of failure. Here's the simple yet powerful shift. Don't set goals based on what seems possible. Set them based on what you truly want. This is where visualization becomes your best friend. See yourself living that goal as if it's already real. Feel the emotion. Smell the room. Taste the success. Write it all down. Make it a daily ritual. Bob called this vibrational alignment. That's when everything starts to shift. Because imagination, when infused with emotion, becomes the bridge between the invisible and the tangible. Want a practical example? Let's say your goal is to earn 30,000 Brazilian reals per month. Don't just wish for it. Write down, I am grateful now for earning 30,000 Brazilian reals per month with ease and purpose. Visualize that amount hitting your account. Feel the peace it brings. See the choices you're able to make. Let your body relax into the feeling of that already being your reality. When you combine that daily repetition with affirmations, it starts to reprogram your subconscious. And once your mind accepts that new truth, you begin attracting the right ideas, people, and opportunities, not by luck but by frequency. The secret is to live from the inside out. Don't wait for the world to change so you can be happy. Change yourself first, and the world will respond. Bob used to say, goals aren't just about what you get, they're about who you become in the process. And that's the real gold. When your focus shifts to growth, to expanding your awareness, the universe starts working in your favor. Because everything is connected: mind, emotion, energy, action. And when those elements align, manifestation feels like magic. But it's not magic. It's science fueled by faith. And speaking of science, there's one law that's more powerful and more overlooked than almost any other: the law of vibration. Most people focus on the law of attraction without realizing that vibration is what drives it. So if you want your goals to come alive, you've got to tune your frequency to match what you want. Imagination is the beginning, but learning to vibrate as if it's already real? That, my friend, is what separates the dreamers from the doers. The law of attraction may have become famous thanks to the movie The Secret, but here's what most people missed: it doesn't work alone. Bob Proctor always made it clear, the real power lies in the law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates, including you. Every thought you repeat and every emotion you feel sends out a frequency. And that frequency works just like a radio signal. You only tune in to what matches your vibration. If you're vibrating fear, you attract more fear. If you're vibrating gratitude, you attract more to be grateful for. Picture someone who wants prosperity, but wakes up every day thinking about debt, frustration, and guilt. That's low vibration. And the universe, like a neutral mirror, simply reflects more of the same. On the other hand, when someone practices spirituality with intention, meditates, uses positive affirmations, and visualizes daily, their frequency starts to rise. Their vibration shifts. Suddenly, the environment around them responds. Ideas flow. The right people show up. Opportunities knock. It's as if the world is saying, finally, you're ready for this. Here's the key: you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Or more accurately, you attract whatever you're vibrating emotionally most of the time. So, if you want to speed up your manifestations, start by raising your vibration. Practices like mindfulness help you quiet the mental noise and become aware of where your focus is going. Meditation, when done with intention, shifts your biological frequency. And when you combine that with gratitude, even before you receive what you desire, your energetic field expands. And that's where the magic happens. Bob used to say, thought is the electrical side of creation. Feeling is the magnetic side. Together, they create the field of manifestation. But here's the catch. Positive thinking alone won't cut it if your emotions are misaligned. If you're saying, I am abundant, but deep down you feel fear, doubt, or anxiety, your dominant vibration is still off. The secret lies in coherence, when your thoughts and feelings match. And that takes practice. That's why Bob always emphasized repetition, emotional intensity in visualization, and emotional discipline. A high vibration doesn't happen by chance, it's cultivated. And speaking of cultivation, there's one powerful tool Bob considered essential for shifting your frequency: affirmations repeated with faith and feeling. It's not about saying words mechanically. It's about declaring, feeling, and believing every word. And that brings us directly to the next step in this journey: how to reprogram your mind through repetition and intention so that your new vibration becomes your new normal. If there was one thing Bob Proctor repeated like a mantra, it was, repetition is the mother of learning. And when it comes to shifting paradigms, nothing is more powerful than well-crafted affirmations, repeated with intention. A paradigm is simply a set of habits living in your subconscious, often formed in childhood at a time when you didn't have filters or self-awareness. Now that you do, change requires a process. Repeat, 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 until the new becomes familiar. It's like hearing a song so many times that you end up singing it without even thinking. That's how the brain works. It learns through repetition. It's a machine designed to automate. And if you can memorize lyrics, you can reprogram your mind with beliefs that support your success. Affirmations like, I am worthy of abundance, my mind works in my favor, or money flows to me easily might sound simple, but with consistency they start rewriting the programming behind every decision you make. The key: don't just repeat them, feel them, visualize them, declare them with emotion. This is where practical spirituality comes in, a concept Bob loved to teach. He didn't want you just chanting phrases mindlessly. He wanted you to become what you affirm. Use meditation to calm the noise, then enter a state of deep gratitude and visualize your new reality while saying your affirmations. Do it daily. Write them out 10 times each morning and 10 times at night. Stick post-its on your mirror. Record them in your own voice and listen throughout the day. Create an environment where the new you becomes unavoidable. And if at any point you feel like it's not working, pause, take a breath, and remember, you're working against years, maybe decades, of old programming. The subconscious mind doesn't shift just because you felt inspired one day. It shifts when it senses your true commitment. Bob used to say, there are only two ways to change a paradigm. One is through an emotional impact, which is rare, and the other is through constant spaced repetition with feeling, which is available to anyone who truly wants it. Once the new thought becomes habit, you start thinking differently without even trying. Your decisions change. Your behavior changes. Your results change. And deep down, it all began with a choice. The choice to repeat something new until it became stronger than the old. And speaking of results, it's time to dive into how Bob viewed wealth creation and multiple sources of income, not as luck or hustle, but as a natural consequence of this upgraded mindset. Bob Proctor used to say that making money is simple. The real problem is that most people were just taught the wrong way. From a young age, we're trained to trade time for money, as if working more hours is the only path to wealth. But Bob showed us that true prosperity comes from understanding universal laws and learning how to serve more people with greater value. This is where spirituality becomes a silent pillar. When your energy aligns with abundance, money stops being a struggle and becomes a natural outcome. One of the points Bob emphasized most was the importance of multiple sources of income. He would say, if one dries up, you won't die of thirst. Think about entrepreneurs, investors, content creators, people who sell knowledge, products, or even creative energy. They create different channels for prosperity to flow through. And you know what all these channels have in common? They all start with a clear vision and a committed desire. Manifestation isn't magic, it's emotional math. You emit a frequency of value, and the universe responds with opportunities that match your vibration. But here's the truth, you can't attract wealth if you secretly resent money. Bob taught that money is a tool, not the enemy. It only amplifies who you already are. If you're generous, you'll be more generous with money. If you're selfish, same thing. That's why he encouraged people to use gratitude as a compass. Instead of focusing on what's missing, celebrate what you already have. This shifts your vibration. And as you now know, the law of vibration comes before the law of attraction. Your feelings generate an energetic field. That field shapes your results. It's that simple. And the best part? You don't have to wait to be rich to start acting like someone who is. Prosperity is a frequency you cultivate through your daily habits. The way you dress, how you value your time, your integrity, your willingness to invest in your growth. Bob would often recommend books like The Richest Man in Babylon or Rich Dad, Poor Dad, not just to understand money but to redefine your relationship with it. And, of course, apply it all with mindfulness, being conscious and intentional in every financial choice. Because once you realize that wealth is a reflection of your self-image aligned with abundance, everything begins to shift. Ideas start to flow, connections appear, doors open. But here comes the real turning point, the one Bob never stopped repeating. The biggest problem is never the lack of money, it's the lack of awareness of who you really are and what you're truly capable of. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into next. Bob Proctor spoke with conviction. You don't have a money problem, you have an ignorance problem. And at first that might sound harsh. But it's not an attack, it's an invitation. Ignorance here doesn't mean stupidity. It simply means not knowing what you haven't learned yet. And the biggest trap? Believing you already know enough. Spirituality teaches that growth is infinite, and Bob echoed this truth with passion. As long as you expand your mind, you expand your reality. And the first step to that? Humility. The truth is, most people are stuck in inherited paradigms, deep-seated beliefs about money, work, relationships, even spirituality, that they've never questioned. Bob used to say those paradigms are like software running in your mental background. And here's the issue. You can't upgrade a system you don't even know is running. That's where continuous learning comes in, with the right mentors and daily habits like affirmations, meditation, and visualization. Simple tools with powerful effects, designed to help install new ideas into your subconscious. If someone wants to live abundantly but spends their day consuming shallow content, surrounded by negativity, repeating things like, "This isn't for me," guess what? They're feeding their own prison. Bob insisted that investing in real education, the kind that transforms, not just informs, is the way out. Reading books like You Were Born Rich, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, or Awaken the Giant Within doesn't just open the mind, it raises your frequency. And where consciousness expands, a new life begins to manifest. He also said, if you're in doubt, it means you're growing. And that's liberating. Not knowing everything isn't weakness, it's a sign that you're opening space for new wisdom. When you learn something new and apply it with mindfulness, even in small ways, something shifts inside. A click happens. A new path becomes visible. And in that moment, you're no longer the same person. Ignorance gives way to personal power. And the most beautiful part? As ignorance fades, faith begins to grow. Faith in yourself, in life, in the universe. And it's in this state, faith aligned with action, that life starts to move in your favor. As Bob used to say, you can achieve anything you can hold clearly in your mind. And now that you understand that, it's time to explore the daily habit that can unlock it all for good. Now tell me, what are you really going to do with everything you just learned? Are you going to let these ideas sit forgotten in some notebook? Or are you going to apply them, day after day, until they transform your reality from the inside out? Because the truth is, nothing changes unless you do. And the difference between those who manifest and those who only wish is simple, conscious action. It's in the daily practice of visualization. It's in using affirmations with intention. It's in cultivating gratitude. And it's in keeping a routine of mindfulness and meditation that aligns your energy with the life you truly want to experience. So here's my challenge. Yes, I'm challenging you. What's that one thing you want to achieve that felt impossible, until now? And more importantly, what's stopping you from starting right now with what you have, exactly where you are? Drop it in the comments. What habit are you going to implement starting today? What was your biggest insight from this video? Your voice here is what keeps this channel alive and vibrating at a high frequency. And if this message lit a fire inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And of course, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and come along on this journey of growth, expansion, and conscious manifestation. Because what you're seeking is also seeking you. And it all begins with one simple decision.